So welcome back. In this section, I'm going to teach you how to create a sketch as shown here. So to create the sketch, now I'm using the template that we created. So to create any new document, it is always better to use the template that we created. So to choose the template now or to create a document initially, you can press this icon, new, then show the path to actually get the template. Open it by just picking by clicking this open option. So then you'll have a new document. See, since we didn't name it, it is actually picking a default name as drawing drawing 3 WDWG. So once you save it, then this name will change to whatever you give now. So observe the extension. Extension will be always .dwg. So it will be different from the template document. So template has a different extension. So just observe that. So uh, so let me create this sketch which is shown here. So I'm using different commands like circle, then uh, we are going to create different center lines. I'm going to use a circular pattern. Then we'll go for uh, fillet option and so on. So let me create this. So my aim is to put this drawing within the limits. So let me start with the center lines. So I will create two center lines, and step by step I will going to insert different features into the drawing. So initially I will set the layer to center lines. So let me change this layer property to center line. Now I will create two different center lines so that I can start I can choose the intersection point of those two lines as the center of the circle. So let's use line option. So they didn't mention any constraints, no, so I will create randomly in the middle so that I can accommodate all the features. So let's randomly draw a line. So see that ortho is switched on so that I can draw horizontal and vertical lines initially. Press escape, use the same command, line command. So instead of clicking it once again, just press enter. So previous command that we used is line, so automatically it will continue. So I'll created two center lines. Now let me assume that the point of intersection is the center of the circle. So I will draw a circle. Closely observe the dimensions of the circle. So you need to create two circles. So the dimensions of the inner circle is diameter is 54 and outer circle is 90. So I will opt for circle option. So I will use, I know the center point and the radius. No, I will opt for the first one. This is the simplest one. Let me pick that option. Switch on the snap, object snap, so that I can pick the midpoint or the intersection point very easily. So if you want, you can zoom in, see that you pick the midpoint. See, when I move, it's showing a triangle. No? Triangle indicates the midpoint of the line, but I need to pick the intersection of these two. So observe it carefully and pick the correct entity. So I will pick the intersection point as the center of the circle. So now let's specify the radius. See this actually this entities, the circle should be should have a different properties from the center line. No, it's not a center line, but it should be considered as an object. So I will change the properties later. First, let me draw the circle. See, when I just drag the mouse button, no, it is showing the radius. So if you don't want to calculate the radius and directly enter the diameter, you can press D enter, or you can pick this option D diameter. So here I can add the dimension, which is 54. Press enter. So let me change the property of this entity. So at present it is picking center line because I allotted this particular layer. So now I'm going to change that to object. Press escape. Now let me change the style from the layer from center line to object, so that I can enter the next entity, which is another circle. So I will create a circle. Just click circle. See, since uh, object snap is switched on, so I will pick this option. See, I can pick the center directly. So I'm picking the center. Now add the dimensions. So here I will calculate the radius and I will enter it. So the diameter should be 90, no? So that means the radius is 45. Enter the value. So I created two circles. Now I want to produce these set of parallel lines. Initially I will create one set, then I'm going to use a polar array to create the remaining entities. Okay, so in this case what I'm going to do is I will just create a line such a way that it is parallel to the center line. So I will change the so I will see here the distance between these two lines is 10 mm, no? So I will use the center line and I will offset this. So use offset option. Let's specify the distance. So it should be 10 by 2, no? It should be 5. Enter the value 5. Enter. Select the object and show the orientation. Similarly, create one more line. Press enter, or you can just simply select this object. I'm not changing the dimension. It remains same. So 5. So that's why you can just simply click on the graphic window to produce the next entity. Press escape. So I'll change the properties of these two lines. So these two lines should be actually objects, no? See, since you offset the center line, the properties remains as center line. So I want to change the properties to object. Press escape. Now see, I want to trim the unwanted entities. So use trim option. You can find it from the modify window. So let's select trim. So I will remove these entities. So I will only consider two entities. Remaining entities I'm deleting them by using trim option. Press escape. Now I'm going to use polar array. So see, these lines are evenly distributed along this circular path, no? So I'm going to use a polar array to produce the remaining entities. So instead of creating independently six times, I will create one set, then I will try to use a polar array to produce the remaining entities. So let me show the option. So polar array will be available under arrays option. So just drop down here. See, you find three options: rectangular array, polar array, and path array. So if you want to distribute along x and y direction linearly, then you can go for a rectangular array. If you want to distribute or create multiple entities or a circular path, then you can go for polar array. So in our case, I need to pick the polar array option. So let's select this option. So initially you need to select different entities. So I will choose these two entities and I will try to create multiple entities by using polar array option. So select the entities, press enter. Now you need to specify the center point or the reference point for this array. So I will pick this intersection point. So by default, see, it is creating 6 items. So if you don't, if you want to override this value, you can just type that value here, and it will create uh, the number of items that you need actually. So in this case, I'm satisfied with this. Then click OK, close the array, or you can click on the graphic window to produce these entities. So now my aim is to create. See, if you clearly observe the sketch, no, see, this entity and this entity are similar or symmetric about this line. Similarly, these two entities are symmetric about this line to produce the remaining entities. No, so these two are symmetric about this line. So instead of creating 4 different features, no, I will create one, and I will try to use mirror option to create the other entities. So initially, see, I need to create one more center line. See, the angle of inclination is 30 degrees. So this also is equal to 30 degrees. So initially, I will create a entity. I will create a center line. So let me change the layer to center line. Now let's click line option. See, the length of the line is 70. Okay, so the distance between the center of this hole and the center of the circle is 70 mm. So I need to create a incline line now. So I will make ortho off. Then I will take the center point as the reference, and I will try to draw a line. Okay. See, once I move the cursor now, see, on the screen you can observe 2 boxes. One represents the length of the line, and the other box represents the angle. So here, the line should be 70. So just enter 70, press tab key, and this angle should be 60 degrees. So let's type 60 and press enter. Okay, so automatically it will create a line. So now I will take this, I will pick the end point as the reference, and I'll create a circle. So how much is the diameter of the circle? It is equal to, I think it's clearly specified here, it is 24. Diameter of the circle is, inner circle is 24. And you need to create one more circle, and the diameter of that particular circle is 40. It is clearly mentioned here. So I'll create 2 circles. Let's start with circle option. So before that, I'll change the properties to object. Let's select circle. So I'll pick this point as the reference point, the center point. See, I will draw a circle of with diameter 24. So it's picking radius now. So enter 12. Then create one more circle. Press enter. So since we use circle now, it will be active now. So I will pick this as the reference point once again. Let's draw one more circle. In this case, the radius should be 20. Enter. So if you clearly observe, I need to create a fillet now. Instead of creating a fillet, what I do is I'll create a circle, then I will trim unwanted entities. So if you clearly observe, the radius of this fillet is 20. So I'll create a circle, but in this case, I don't know the position of the center. But you have an option like you can draw a circle which is tangential to these two entities, this one and this one, and you can maintain radius. So for that, under circle option, you have a different. So like I can use this tangent radius option. Let me pick this option. So I will see when I move near to the circle, no, it is showing a symbol that indicates that once you select, no, it will pick tangency with that circle. So I will select that circle and this one. So before that, let me see. I need to specify the radius, no. So radius should be 20. It is already entered as 20. Just press enter. So automatically it will create a circle. So now let's trim the unwanted entities. So initially I will trim. So I need to only retain this part of the circle. So I'm opting for trim. So I will remove this part of the circle. Okay. See, I need to produce one more entity here. So for that, I need to, I can't choose, and I need to create one more circle here, but I'm not going to do it. So at the end, I'm going to create this fillet. At present, I will leave it like this, and I will try to mirror it onto the other side. So let's see how I do it. Press escape. So I'm going to mirror these three entities onto this side initially. So use mirror option. Okay, select these entities. So I'm picking these three entities. Also, I will select for my convenience. I'm selecting the center line. Press enter. Then you need to specify uh, you need to define the mirror line. So I will pick this as a starting point and this as the end point. So this line acts as a mirror line. So you can easily produce all these entities without actually creating one by one or individual entities. Okay. Now let me mirror. So let's say undo or create it once again. I think I made a mistake. I didn't click on the graphic window to place the entities. So I will redo it. So use mirror option. So I will select these four entities, press enter. So choose the correct line of symmetry. See, once I click it, no, it is asking whether to erase the source objects. I don't want to erase that. So let's go for no option. Let's press this. So automatically it will create a set of entities here. Now I'm going to mirror uh, these entities onto the other side. So let's activate mirror once again. So select these entities. See, I want to select the line, this circle. Let's press escape. Use mirror and try to pick them precisely. So now I'm going to mirror it onto the other side. So press enter. So let's specify this line as the symmetry. So I'll select, let me switch on the ortho. I'll pick this point. So the remaining entities will be created. So I made the same mistake. So redo the process once again. Don't press escape, but you need to press no. Then only it will create a mirror. So repeat the process. So use mirror. Select these objects. Press enter. Select this as the mirror line. Then press no. Then only it will create the entities. So now see, I need to create a fillet here now. So once again I will opt for uh, tangent radius option. See, they didn't mention any radius, so since they mentioned it as 20, I will consider them as 20. So let's create, instead of creating an arc, no, I will use circle. It will be very easy. So I will pick these two circles and specify the radius, which is 20. So add 20 there, press enter, then it will create a circle. You can mirror it or create one more entity. So I will mirror this. So use mirror option, or simply first we'll trim it, then we'll use mirror. So I will trim the unwanted entities. So initially I will pick these entities. So I will retain this. So I'm going to mirror it to the other side. So use mirror option. Let's select this object, press enter. Now select the mirror line. I'm picking this, so automatically it will create an entity here. Press escape. So I need to retain it. So press no, then press escape. Okay. So I need to trim some more entities now. So this inner part I don't need that. So I will use trim and I will remove the unwanted features. Okay. So I'm done with the sketch, but I didn't add the dimensions. I will do it later. But if you clearly observe, no, this figure actually crosses the boundary. So to take a printout, no, I want to readjust this within the space. So instead of making this vertical, no, I will make it horizontal, so that I can accommodate the whole sketch in this particular sheet. So what I'm going to do is I will select all the entities and I will rotate about 90 degrees, so that uh, the whole sketch will be within the space, within the boundary. Okay, see, it is actually crossing the lines now, so I don't want that. So I will just rotate this and keep it within the space. So let's select all the entities at a time. So I'm using the selection box. So just click on the graphic window and move the cursor such a way that, so you need to move along the left direction towards the left side. So see that you pick that green color box. Okay, so whatever entities that are actually touching that green color box, those entities will be selected. So I will pick all the entities. Now I will rotate the whole object with respect to a point. So you know that the angle of rotation should be 90 degrees. Then only you'll get uh, a precise sketch. So to rotate the objects, I'm selecting all the entities, because see, if I individually pick a entity and if I rotate, then only that individual entity will rotate. The others remains stationary. So to avoid that, I will select. I'm going to. I actually selected all the entities. So let's use rotate option. So since I want to rotate with respect to 90 degrees, I will see that ortho is switched on. Okay. So I need to pick a base point. You can pick any point within this. So I will pick this center point and I will rotate the object. See, in this orientation. So let's press undo. So do the process once again. First select the entities, then use rotate option. I'll select a reference point. So see that the angle is 90 degrees. See in the box now. So it is represented as 90. So I'll just press enter. Okay. So the whole sketch, actually I rotated it about 90 degrees. See, I can decrease this, decrease the size of this line. So see that ortho is on. I'll stretch it to accommodate this line within the space. So let me zoom out. pan it, select the entity, and just move it so that it does the angle, sorry, the line remains vertical. Similarly, I can select this and move along the y direction. So now I'm done with the sketch. I think we covered all the features. Let me add the dimensions. See, to add the dimensions now, I need to change the layer property. I will use continuous layer, continuous lines, or construction lines. So let's opt for construction layer. So let's start adding the dimensions. So pick individual entities. So I'll start with the circle. So if you are unable to select, you can switch ortho and also switch off ortho and snap option. So move the cursor. See that you pick the objects and add dimensions to individual entities one by one. I will specify the length of this line. Similarly, I need to specify the angle. So I'll select this edge and this one. So see that it is 30 degrees. So I'll show the parallel distance between these two entities. So let me pick these two lines. So you can show the length. I need to add diameter for this now, for the inner and the outer circles. I will place the dimensions here. So I think I created all the dimensions. So you can adjust them so that they fit into the sketch properly. Okay. So I want to realign this dimension onto the other side, or you can put it anywhere. Okay. So actually there is no need to mention this because we already mentioned this radius now. So you can just use delete key. So this is how you actually create a sketch. So now I need to take a printout of this. So to take a printout of this, I can use layout option. See, I need to take a printout with 1:1 scale. See, at present it is using 1:1 scale. So everything looks good. So now let me create or take convert this drawing into a PDF format. So to do that, just right click here, right click on layout, use plot option. Okay, set the paper size to A4 with this particular orientation 297 into 210. So here I'm going to convert the drawing into PDF. So I will opt for DWG to PDF option. See that you pick layout, keep the scale as 1:1 and leave the default values. But see that plot object line weights is active. So by default it is active. So I will leave it like that and click OK. So in to show the path, you can save the file. Okay. So I will name this as basics exercise 2. Save the file. So automatically it will convert the drawing into in a PDF form. So if you clearly observe, you can, so the original objects will be shown with the dark background, and the remaining entities, for example, the center lines and the dimension lines are thin actually. So this looks good. So this is how you produce a drawing.